Hey there, Park Ridge kids, welcome to STEWY'S, the music lesson of the week. Yeah. Hey, year 3 and 4, how are you? Welcome to your YouTube link lesson for weeks 5 and 6. Remember, they're all getting done in 2-week blocks. Hope you're going okay with your recorder. And I've just been thinking maybe some of those songs are a bit too challenging for some of you. There's nothing wrong with just sticking with those easier ones like hot cross buns and peace pudding, and even some of the ones I gave you earlier in the year. So you should have hard paper copies of those ones. Songs like Ta Ah Samba and that, and even perhaps Mary Had a Little Lamb. All things that if you just keep working away at them and trying your best, or just playing your recorder notes, you're going to get better. By the time you come back to school, you'll be well placed to continue on with your music studies. So speaking of making things a bit easier, I've found some easier songs that we can just have a go at. I've got it off a separate site, so they're not out of our yellow black belt recorder book. So the two songs, I'll hold them up here. There's this sheet here. It's quite easy. It's beginner's bounce. It's just going through a B, an A, a G note, and they're all the same notes on each of those songs. And there's a little mix-up of B, A, and G on the last one there. The other one, which I will play for you in a moment, is called Sam's Silly Song. And I highly recommend, if you're finding it really hard to read music, get yourself a pen or pencil and actually write out the notes underneath. Okay, so that first one there, that's a G, so I'll write the letter G underneath. The next note in this song is a B, so I'll write the letter B underneath. That way, if you're finding it too tricky, this will help you play. So I'll put my music down and get my recorder ready to play Sam's Silly Song. So here I go, remembering cover the whole hole, softly blowing dew, eyes on the music, Sam's Silly Song. Not too bad for my first go. Now I'll try Sam Plays D. Now, interestingly, with Sam Plays D, just watch out for it. It's 3 beats per bar. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it has a waltz time. So it's going to be going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be tricky. We'll put that down as a challenge for yourselves if you want to take that challenge on. I'll give it a shot. One, two, three. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Totally different feel. All right, that's it for part 1. Let's go to part 2. So for this part of the lesson, I'd really like you to watch the YouTube clips I've included on how to read the notes of the treble clef staff. Some of it might seem a bit tricky. Don't worry, just take in as much as you can. There's 2 clips. Once you've watched them and you've watched this is in your pack, this sheet here, and basically what I'm going to do on screen on my laptop, you can watch that while you do this. You can press pause, or you can just watch it and have a go by yourself. So have a look at what I've done on screen. So all I want you to understand here is basically how we write notes on music paper, and a really good trick to help you understand or remember the notes. So this is called the musical staff, 5 lines and 4 spaces. I've got 2 sets of staff here. This is a treble clef that lets us know what register we're in. So we're quite high in the treble. There is a bass clef which is really low as part of the grand staff, but we're not going to worry about that. I don't want to overwhelm you or confuse you with too many notes. We're just looking at the high notes. Even though within the treble clef you can have high and low within that. Hopefully you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to start with the notes on the lines I'll do up here, and the notes in the space I'll do on this one down here, and I think that's going to help you memorize some of these letter names. I'm going to get my drawing tool activated, so please forgive how messy my writing is going to look, because it's really hard to draw with one of these controllers, a mouse. Here goes. So I'm just going to start on this bottom line here, and I'm going to draw a note. Now, if it's on the line, it needs to be split right down the middle. Now, you can colour yours in and add in stems, but I'm just showing you where the notes are. Now, this is always going to be an E note, and we always do capitals when we're writing musical notes. I'm actually going to write the word every because it helps me remember this note. You'll see why. Again, excuse my writing. I'm going to leave this space. There is a note here, but we'll check that out underneath here. Let's go up to the next line. If I do a note right in the middle, that's a G. I know that because I've been doing music for a long time. A G, capital G. But I'm going to turn that into the word good, just so it helps me remember my notes. Good. Ooh, very messy writing. I'll go up to the next line here, and that is a B. Hopefully you can fill out the sheet. You can do it while you're watching this clip, or you can just do it afterwards. I'm going to turn this into the word boy. Now the note's not called boy, but if I write the word boy, and it looks like bay, but it's supposed to be boy. It's my mouse writing there. Okay, next one up. I know it's a D note. Again, make sure it's right on the line. Capital D for the note name. I'm going to hopefully fit this in. I'll write the word deserves. D-E-S-E-R-V-E-S. I'm going to run out of space, but that's all right. And the top note on the top line is an F. Always an F. And I'm going to turn that into the word fruit. You might want to say Ferraris or Freddos, Fortnite, whatever works for you. Okay, every good boy deserves fruit. I use this to help me remember the notes. Even now, I've been doing music for over 20 or 30 years, and I still use this today. Always an E on this line, always a G if you see a note on this line, always a B on this line, always a D, and always an F if there's a treble clef. And the way I remember it is just by going, every good boy deserves fruit. Now the reason why I've left these space ones out is hopefully so you can see this other cool little trick that helps me remember things. If it's in the space, it has to sit right in the middle there. I'll do all the notes in the spaces first. We'll write them in. There's 4 spaces. Now I could have done these notes up here and this one up here. And then you really see the alphabet. Maybe I'll do them in a minute. But if you watch here, this will spell out a word. The notes in the space, that's an F, that's an A, that's a C, and that's an E. The notes in the space spell face. Good way to remember it, I think. And if I did it all together, the F would be here. I'll just write my F there rather than the note. And the A would be sitting here. And the C would be there because it just goes up like the alphabet. Starts low, gets higher. And the E would be here in this little space here. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. It does keep going up and keep going down, but we're not going to worry about that for now. So like I said, have a go at filling this out, give it your best shot, and it's going to help you remember all of the note names and how to actually write them in. You might notice, I just remembered, you may hear in some YouTube clips or from some music teachers that some people call this stave. Staff, stave, it's the same thing. In the past, I think stave was plural and staff was singular, but these days people just use it interchangeably. Let's go on to part 3. Now in part 3, there's not a great deal for me to show you in this section of the YouTube clip. If you watch the link that I've sent you, that's pretty much got all you need on learning how to play a C major scale. I'd love you to be able to do it. Just your right hand to be fine. The clip does go on to left hand and even trying to play both at once, but that takes weeks and weeks of practice. Just knowing about a C major scale, how to play it with your right hand would be enough. I will take you over to my keyboard so I can show you a quick C major scale and also where exactly we need to be playing on the keyboard to match our recorder. If we're going to start playing our recorder songs on a keyboard or a virtual keyboard, because don't forget there's a link there if you don't have a keyboard at home, you need to know exactly where on the keyboard to play it. Which B, which A. There's so many of them to choose from. Let's go to my keyboard. Here I am at my piano keyboard. I don't normally have the letters stuck there. I put them on earlier today for a year 1-2 video I was making. I'm hoping you can remember from last week's lesson how to find notes without needing this business. Just think of the pattern, 2 black space 3 black, and anytime there's 2, there's always a C there, there's always an F before 3. That's the low end all the way up to high. I'll quickly try a C major scale on middle C. Chuck my thumb under, and then back down, middle finger over. That's it with your right hand. I'd be happy if you could do that rather than the YouTube clip where I want you to play both hands. Now just quickly, I briefly touched upon this last week. If that's middle C, we're going to go up to not this C, but up to the very next C here. So 2 octaves. Octaves means 8 notes. Up to this C here. These are the notes that will match the pitch of our recorder. So if I was playing Mary Had a Little Lamb, that's the B, A, G that I will be using. And here's the D that we use and the C if you're using that in some of the more challenging recorder songs. That's it for Stewy's music lesson for weeks 5 and 6. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now. Enjoy your lesson at Stewy's music lesson of the week. That's right.